This is the Forge level in Defense Grid Gold, part of the Borderlands pack. This is being played on OnLive. You can also find Defense Grid on Steam. And yes, I do highly recommend it for tower defense fans. It's just endlessly entertaining. And let's take a look at one of their more deceptive levels. A very challenging one at first that has taken me several tries to get right. It's a big level, and normally the strategy in Defense Grid Gold is to make your enemies travel as long as possible to get the cores and attempt to run off screen with them. That way you can bombard them for lengthy periods of time with a variety of weapons. In Forge, at least at the standard difficulty level, you want to avoid the temptation of using the entire length of the playing field. This is one of the most difficult levels at the end, and it just punishes you if you don't have your defenses maxed out. And I'm not always a fan of the missile defense tower because they only attack air units, but in this level you want missile defense towers. Cannons will not cut it because they send a lot of enemy air units at you, and they all come from the bottom left side of the screen, the southwest. Also note that the exit point for enemy units is in the middle left side of the screen, or the west, and they emerge from a tunnel in the east. I like this level a lot because it seems easy at first and then quickly reminds you that at times Defense Grid will make you its bitch. But you can show this level how it's done, and you'll need to max out some weapons. So let's start off by, of course, just creating some level 1 towers. Machine guns, strategically placing some cannons, and of course, the all-important temporal device to slow down some bad guys. And I'm going with a Tesla tower in this level. So we've got an immediate air attack that I'm a little late on here, but the first one isn't very difficult, and you can probably already see the path that I'm going to make the enemies follow to get to the cores. They're going to come out of the tunnel, go through that one little walkway in between the two empty spaces, and will hopefully die long before they ever reach the cores. Note where my temporal device is. That's slowing them down right in the middle of a firestorm, cannons, machine guns.
If we get through this, I'd buy you a drink, if I could.
And you don't need many Tesla devices, but when you've got one, max it out. That'll be coming soon. I don't see why the computer can't buy me a drink. I would like a drink, please. Computer. Computer. And I'll just start with some coffee. So, computer. Coffee. Now. Okay, one of the key things that makes this level challenging is something you can't see, but you'll be strapped for resources almost the entire time. You earn most of your resource bucks from the larger enemies, which all come at the end in one giant wave. So you can't rely on earning a lot of money all at once, which is why you want to concentrate on just a few towers, instead of spending all of your money trying to drive the enemies all over the map. That's the really easy mistake to make in Forge, and I tried various paths throughout the level, driving them up around the left, driving them up around the right, using the entire map, making zigzags. None of it worked, and when nothing works, just clear your memory and start over from scratch. Go with the minimal tower approach for Forge. And by minimal I mean just a few towers, but really powerful ones, and you need a level 3 temporal device to slow them down and kill them. So when they come out of that tunnel, they're going to walk right into level 3 weapons, which I'm already building now. So instead of building a lot of guns, I'm putting all the money into upgrading. And disregard the Tesla device that I built on the bottom left of the map. That was actually a mistake. I was flipping through the menus so quickly I meant to build a missile tower. Instead I built a Tesla device, which I'm going to sell. At this point in the game, it's not a big deal. Kick yourself for being stupid and move on. Don't kick me for being stupid. Kick yourself.
Fins up. They're taking a core. Find the cores. They're making off with them. That core's safe again.
You can see that my defenses have already taken shape, and even though the designers have given me this massive map to use, I want to get rid of the enemies right there, right up front. In fact, this is a strategy you can use for a variety of different maps. It doesn't work for all of them, but you'll find it works for many.
This place up.
I think I've said this before about Defense Grid, but when you upgrade your gun turrets, and especially the cannons, the long-range cannons, they're extremely expensive to bring up to level 3, and even level 2 at the beginning. So if you're going to upgrade those guns, make sure they get used more than once, so that the enemies are going to approach them from one direction and then maybe have to come around from a different direction and see that gun again twice, so it kills them twice. You know you're doing a good job when you get 15 seconds of silence when there's no enemies on the screen at all. Notice that all of my level 3 machine gun turrets and the cannons on the right side of the screen at least can reach the cores for enemies that may happen to get that far, and they'll also be hitting enemies if they come around on the left side of the screen. But don't forget, when you have some additional resources to spend them on air defense. You'll need them later. I don't always use the command tower, but when I do, I use the command tower.
Incoming razors, be quick about it.
Oh, the enemy's finally starting to put up a fight. Well, it won't matter. They'll be like, hey, I'm invading. Oh, I'm dead. It's Defense Grid Gold, the Forge level, and I'll see you back here for the Macro Review, Part 2, in Part 2 of this Macro Review.
That thing's a wrecking ball with shields.